Listen up, bro. First down.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to JG's Lounge. We are back with another episode of In the Lounge with JG and Brofiki. Brofiki, man, usually you're on my right, but I was later than you, so now you're on the left. But
that's okay. I'll take it. I'm swell. It is a wonderful day here in northern Utah.
All right. Yeah. You were driving through some hail, I think, yesterday.
I certainly was, and I brought that storm home with me, and everyone can be mad because I love fall weather, and I wanted to wear my sweater.
And that's my co-host, Brofiki, everybody. And until next time, we'll see you around.
Okay. Wait, what?
All right, man. Ember, how you doing, dude?
Doing great. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, of course, dude. I've been hearing a lot of great things about you from Jesse, and I've really digging the music that you got coming out. And of course, we had to get you on the show, man. I mean, why not? Why would we not bring you on our show?
Absolutely. I mean, why not?
I know. You had a pretty busy summer. I mean, you were in Utah, back in Nevada. Is that your summers for the most part all the time?
So that was actually recent. So last year was my first year at the University of Utah. I'm going to school here in marketing, and obviously pursuing the DJing, of course. So with that, I wanted to look into the local scene, and Sky gave me my first opportunity to open for Heritage, and I can't remember when the show was,
but 24th.
May 24th. That's it. And I came back to perform there. And in the summers, I live in Vegas because that's where I'm originally from. But I hope to be back up. And the next summers, I hope to be back up here a lot because that means I'll be playing some shows. But for the most part, it's a little bit of back and forth. But I love being in Utah. It's an amazing spot.
Yeah, it is fun, especially I live in Kansas, but I've traveled out there many times. I have family in Provo, very, very small town, Salina, Utah, in the middle of the desert. And then Brigham City, I believe, is it Brigham City?
Awful place.
And so I've been out there quite a few times, but it's been a few years. But it's such a different scene compared to Kansas City.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a lot different than Vegas as well. Can say that.
Yeah, you can keep Toto over there, Juke. We don't want him.
I've always got like 4 or 5 Totos in this house. So if you guys ever want one, I got plenty of Totos. Too many. I was telling Jesse about this. Oh God. So I get a call from my wife, and she's like, "You need to come home." I just got home. There's blood everywhere.
Oh boy.
And so I'm like, okay, something's wrong with one of our dogs because we have several. And I get here, and so my daughter's bedroom door that's all the birds are in her room. We had 3 birds. And she left the door open, so we came home, and the dogs had eaten the birds. So they were all like, there's blood and bird feathers all over the house.
Boy. Oh no.
No more Tweety Bird.
Very, very disturbing, but the vision of it was kind of comical. It was very disturbing though.
Yeah.
There was a firefight.
That's brutal.
It was, yeah.
Not the birds.
Definitely a first for me.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But this show is not about me though. So, where
are you sure?
So you're from the Vegas area, like born and raised?
Yes. Yeah. So I was born in Vegas. I pretty much lived in Vegas my whole life. There was a couple times as a toddler I went back into California because originally my family is from Northern California, in a small city called Lodi. It's right next to like Stockton, Sacramento, so NorCal. And so we went back there a couple times, but for the most part, I've been growing up in Vegas, and it's pretty much been my whole life. some fun facts. So my dad was in he coached baseball for a bit. So when I was like a couple months old, I used to live in Alaska.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh,
for a little bit, I don't remember any of it, but
Right.
the one thing my parents always tell me is that during the summers they would have a big net around me because there was a bunch of mosquitoes and stuff up there. So I was kind of protected. And then, but what's crazy is that that same year I was still in the months old era, but we moved to Hawaii because my dad coached the team in Hawaii. So kind of the exact opposite. And then there I lived in a closet because
Harry Potter.
basically the reason for that was as a kid, if I saw my parents, I couldn't go to sleep. So they had to shut the door and in order for me to go to sleep as a little kid. But yeah,
funny.
so it's a little bit of my early childhood. But yeah, for the most part, as a kid, now I lived in Vegas and yeah, loved every bit of it.
Yeah, I've been to Vegas, and I gotta say some of the best of what I saw was off of the strip, like the dam.
Yeah.
I know we did some. I got a tattoo.
Right on.
You got a Vegas tattoo.
My
also?
very first tattoo was in Vegas. It was at the Pawn Stars like in that parking lot. There's a tattoo shop.
It was one of those like
Uh,
what $50 tattoos or something like that.
Yeah, and right next to like one of those chapels where you can get married to. Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Mine was at 4 in the
Yeah.
morning, and I was so drunk. I should not have
Oh,
gotten a
no.
tattoo.
Yeah, that area is actually one of the probably craziest and not so nice areas of Las Vegas, especially at night. A lot of tweakers there. Even like I've heard stories of even cops are scared down there. But luckily for me, I'm not really down there too often unless I'm going. The only time I'm really down at the strip is every now and then we'll have a dinner down there or Top Golf. Other than that, I'm kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much to do down there when you're
Right.
under 21. So I mean, I'm
Right.
kind of like on the outskirts, just doing my thing, golfing occasionally, going to school, going to friends' houses, hiking, just
Mhm.
the normal high schooler stuff, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Except for the Vegas part.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I actually
Pretty
just heard on one of the podcasts I listened to that Vegas has a lot of like tunnels underneath the city for flooding.
So it's so funny. Yeah, they actually do. They actually have multiple types of tunnels.
Yeah.
So they have the tunnels for the flooding, of course, and then those are actually famous because they're known as like the sewer people. So a lot of homeless people
Yes.
actually live down there, and feel bad for them because just a couple days ago Vegas got the most rain like ever. So if they were down there, it wasn't too good for them. But
Right.
also they've been building these new tunnels. It's from Elon Musk's Boring Company, and they have their Tesla tunnels. So there's a bunch of hired drivers that drive Teslas. So it's a lot faster. It's like you can go from like Resort World to the convention center just in like nothing because like there's no traffic. It's literally
Right.
just yeah. It's pretty cool. One of my fraternity brothers is actually he's working for them.
We're currently blowing Brofiki's mind right now.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, this is cool. I really
Yeah,
like this.
so-
It's like the
and
History Channel.
It's pretty crazy actually because like so F1 is happening in Vegas pretty soon here, and they're tearing up that whole strip, that whole main street, and they're turning it into like a racetrack. There is talk though that they're not going to put back the street. They're saying some people are saying that they're going to make it one giant sidewalk, and if that's the case, Elon Musk has so much money in his pocket because the only driving will be through the tunnels underground. So
I
we'll
mean,
see
it
if
makes
that happens.
Super
That's all talk.
Speedway, bro.
It's all talk. We don't know.
We need an Autobahn there, man.
But yeah,
They've talked about, yeah.
it's pretty crazy.
There's been talks of like a hyper tunnel here from Kansas City
Yeah.
to St. Louis. And it's literally like a train that would get you from Kansas City to St. Louis in like 40 minutes when it takes about 4 hours to drive there.
That's crazy. It's like the LA to Vegas just like speed rail or monorail. Like there's been talks of it for years and it just never happens.
Never happens.
I wish it did. I would love to go to LA.
Hey, we have plane hoppers from here where it takes like 45 minutes to get to Vegas.
Oh yeah, no.
So I'm
use
happy
those
about that.
more often.
I'm terrified of private little planes. Even though I
Right.
flew one. I flew a plane.
That's crazy. I'm learning.
I did.
I learned
don't know
stuff
if I'd
about
be
Jesse
in there.
every day. I learn stuff about this dude every day.
Every
Something
day.
new. something new. I'm like, what the? This guy's
Sorry,
crazy.
guys.
No, it's a
I
good
know.
thing. It's sick.
It's great, man.
I've been pronounced dead 4 times.
Yeah,
I know
did
somebody
actually
who's
know
been
that.
pronounced. I know somebody who's been pronounced dead.
I feel
So,
so
like,
bad for my mom.
for like 2 weeks. I was like, okay,
It's crazy.
What's
Yeah.
next? What's next?
Yeah. All right.
My
well,
one- yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just
go ahead
gonna
and get it, and then we're
say,
gonna get back on topic.
the next topic was music.
Yes, I think it'll probably go this direction or this direction.
I don't know. You come up with some crazy like left fielders. Yeah, that's a baseball pun. I can be
Yes.
punny too.
I
I don't sports.
So, as far as like school and stuff goes, were you already getting involved in music?
So yeah, I got involved. Let's take you back a little bit. In 8th grade, I took my first ever music tech class. It was a little elective at one of my schools in Vegas, and that's where I got inspired. That's where Ember started. I basically, I looked. I was just working on some music, working on some tunes, and then my teacher one day told me, she's like, Peyton, this would be really good in like a live setting. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like live performance, like DJing. I'm like, really? She's like, you should check out some EDM. I'm like, all right. Same night, went home. First person I looked up was Millennium, and from there on, I was hooked. Every day in class, it was my favorite class. I was counting down the seconds till I got to that class, and I would be pissed because it was only an hour, and that hour would go by in like 2 minutes for me. And but there I was learning everything I needed to know about like the beginning of music making. And after that year, I never really actually had another formal class on music. So I was then self-taught from there on. So all throughout high school, I started just looking up YouTube videos, looking up tutorials, talking to artists in their DMs, asking how they did this, how they did that. And funny story, Ember used to be Bucky Beats. Up until my junior year of high school, Ember was Bucky Beats. It's still on Spotify, but
and
I actually
what's the reasoning behind
Wow.
Bucky Beats?
So my last name's Buckmiller, and one of my friends used to be like, Peyton, you should be like Bucky Beats or something. They just said it one day. I'm like, that's sick. My freshman self was like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And then back then I was making tropical house. So like my favorite artist was like Kygo, and like I was just completely different from the music I make now.
Yeah.
But so yeah, back then I was like, dude, this is sick. So I was always posting on Spotify because I discovered DistroKid. And looking back at it, I'll look back every now and then, go on my DistroKid, look at my vaults, and I'll be like, why did I post this on Spotify? Like, that should be illegal. That's how bad it was. I was not on Spotify. I deleted those. There's still 3 songs, though, that that's on Spotify for some reason.
Oh, man,
But,
I can't wait for your birthday.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something so silly.
Oh, boy. But, yeah, so I definitely – I do look back and be like, okay, I progressed a lot. Like, it's pretty cool to see the progression. But, yeah. So until junior year of high school, I realized, all right, Bucky Beats is not going to cut it. Like, it's just not professional. It's not going to look good on like a festival lineup. Like, you got to think of the bigger picture. So for a while I did some research, just did some thinking on names. My parents probably heard me think of like 40, 50 names. I'm like, no, absolutely not. And finally I was just like, all right, what is something that's unique to me? And then I was like, just like I can relate to you, I'm Ginger.
Right.
And so I was like, all right, what do we got? We got fire. We got something to do with fire. And then the word Ember clicked. And I'm like, that honestly works. It works because for some reason, it just works with my music style. That was at the time. And it still is now.
And
it just
right, dude. That's same with Jukebox Ginger, man. It's like, I know mine's comical and kind of stupid, whatever, but it fits.
No, absolutely. It's about it's about what fits you, and I'm glad I took a long time to discover it. But
real quick though, his birthday is the last day of Fire Energy of every year. I told him this. I was so excited.
which is an Ember. So I mean,
he's got the coolest birthday ever. It's my favorite number.
I will not lie to you guys. I did not know that at all. So
It's okay. Leave it
I'm
to me.
just now learning, so yeah.
It makes the name perfect, honestly.
Yeah,
And
it does.
so I don't know. I feel like after I discovered Ember, that's when I really started taking the next steps, and I really was like, okay, this is something I really want to do, and that's when I got really, really serious with it. And I wouldn't say till like last year, I took production to another level, to the point where like every day, at least 2 hours. And if I wasn't doing it on a day, I was making up for it on another day. So like 4 to 6 hours on one day. So it got to the point where like, yeah, I had a lot of hours in the production studio. And then the day I think that day is actually coming up here soon on my Twitter, was the day I switched from Logic Pro to Ableton. Those are like DAWs, just like production studio things. And when I switched to Ableton, that's when I was like, okay, we're in it. It's go time. It's go time. And I haven't looked back from since. So yeah.
It's like when you go from Apple to Android. Android is a million times more.
Like, do you prefer Android over Apple?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have both, right? So I have both phones. But that's the good thing about like him, like learning, different programs, because usually like when you go into one, you only learn one thing, but there's different things you can learn from both, that if you know both systems, you are like way better at just the one because you're aware of what the other can do. Now it's kind of like it's like a music industry standard right now for DJs to understand like Ableton and then like CDJ 3000s, right? That's the standard.
Yeah,
but if you know how to play on everything else, it's just Android versus Apple, right? Can you use both? Most people can't.
Right.
Well,
I know you can.
The thing with the production studios or the production softwares, and this is what I got really good at Ableton quick, was because all the elements of the production studios, whether it's Logic Pro, Ableton, FL Studio, they all do the same thing. It's just formatted differently. And all you got to do is like figure out what the formatting is, where it is, how your workflow changes a little bit, and you'll get it like that. So my transition from Logic Pro to Ableton wasn't as difficult as it would have been if I just opened Ableton here and then. And people, because I know people that have done that, and they're like, "What am I looking at? Like this looks like an Excel sheet. Like it's crazy." So for the most part, the transition was pretty easy, and I got it pretty quick. And that's one thing I'm really happy about with like my young age. I'm doing all this now. I'm doing all the learning now. So by the time most DJs have started their career, like the first opened up Ableton, I'm already dialed in. I've already got like, I know what I'm doing, and I can already get started on like the creative process. And I already have.
Right.
So that's one thing I'm definitely thankful I stuck through it through 8th grade, because during high school there was a lot of times where I wouldn't say bullied, but I would definitely get made fun of for the stuff I make. I never let that discourage me. I feel like the people that do get discouraged by that are the ones that never make it, because they just like, all right, one roadblock, they're out. That's not me. I'm in it for the long run, and I planned that for a while. But yeah, I don't know. Just a little bit of story from Ember.
Yeah, that's great, because it's funny. Usually I have to throw in a lot of questions to get somebody's story, but you've done a really good job at kind of explaining, okay, this was a recommendation. I checked it out. I loved it. And now, I started out like this. I didn't like this, tweaked it a little bit. And you've already told us all of this. So, I mean, I'm loving the way that you're responding to this. So I appreciate that.
No worries.
He's ready to go.
There is something that we have not talked about a lot on this show, and it's something that you've been doing lately, and that's collaborations. And I want to maybe talk about a little bit of that today, like as far as finding who you're collaborating with, what's the conversation like going into that, and then the production, like what kind of experience is it?
Yeah. So, I mean, it definitely, it depends on the collaborator, because so I have a EP coming out with an artist, Freaky. He's a pretty well-known name in the dubstep industry. Yeah. Well established, been in it for about 10 years. I actually reached out to him, sent him a demo, and that demo, he was like, I don't have anything to add on to this, but I would like for you to, I have something that for you that you can get onto this. And I was like, Absolutely. I was totally expecting, oh, this is cool, but I think I'll pass this time. But no, and then next thing you know, we like, oh, this is really cool. We should do another thing. Oh, cool. All right. Next thing you know, 3-song EP. Um, so that's kind of how that works with like artists that are bigger than me. Usually it's me reaching out, and then sometimes it's just simply, yo, I love your stuff. I would love to work on something, and I'll usually check out their stuff. I'm like, hell yeah, these guys got it. And I'll be like, absolutely. A lot of my collabs actually came from a group chat I made. So I was telling Jesse about this
Yeah.
It was
This is
I was
cool.
I was on a flight back from Missouri, and I had an idea, and I'm sure other people have had this idea before, but they've never executed it. So I was like, what if I just created a giant group chat on Instagram for producers like me to just chat amongst themselves, be themselves, talk about music, send in music, talk about like just technique stuff. And so then when I got off that plane, I sent DMs to about 30 artists. I think 15 got in the chat. But then I was like, all right, guys, invite your friends, because my network's only so big. Next thing I know, that worked.
Yeah. Get your friends. Yeah. Get your friends to
Next thing you know,
network
the
for you.
friends of friends came in, and the artists just kept getting bigger and bigger. And then next thing you know, there's a news outlet for dubstep called Dubstep FBI, and they have about 40K followers on Instagram. Everybody in the dubstep community knows them. They're in the chat, and I'm like, what is going on right now? This is all in a day, by the way, just in a single.
Yep, I remember this day.
I'm playing Xbox
He
with
was
my
telling me
friends,
about it,
and my phone just starts blowing up, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. and then from there on, some chose to stay, some chose to leave, because sometimes group chats aren't for people. But right now we're sitting at about 60 strong in that group chat, and and that's how I got that collab with Freaky. Freaky sent in the chat, send me stuff.
This is so funny because I did the same thing with podcasters on Facebook Messenger called Clash of the Casters. And I'm like, just, hey, if I see somebody posting stuff and then obviously they're into it, then I'm going to add them to or invite them into the group. And there was like 28 podcasts on there.
The worst they say is no. Like,
right.
That was my mindset. So I was like, what do I have to lose? The gain is amazing. The loss is absolutely nothing. So I'd say, how many collabs? I've gotten about 6 collabs with artists that I probably would never have collabed with, just from that group chat. Just from either sending my music in here. I'm like, all right, guys, check out this unreleased. And next thing you know, in my DMs, I'm like, I have a guy in there who's like, dude, that was amazing. We got to work on a song together. And now I'm currently working on about 4 or 5 song EP. And on that song are all collaborators from that group chat. I don't know. I really feel like I'm really happy with it, because I feel like in a way I did this for myself. If I was lazy and just decided, no, I don't nothing's gonna happen, I would have never gotten this network of followings. I would have never gotten these collabs. But I chose to go upon myself and reach out, take a gamble, and I feel like I got a reward out of it. It's really awesome. And so that's kind of how my collabs have worked so far. I have tried reaching out. Reaching out definitely is always going to be more risky, because usually the artists are bigger than you. Half the time, a little bit more than half, maybe 75% of the time, they aren't going to even see it at all. But I'm the type of person that I'm not worried to shoot my shot in DMs, because worst they do is they either leave it on red or they say no. It's not the end of the world. So
you sound like a younger version of me, dude.
Yeah, you guys. So your birthdays are less than 2 weeks apart.
Yeah, I'm December 5th, so
yeah, he's the 21st.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think, because like all the stuff you're talking about, I'm like, dude, I'm like, that's literally what I'm doing with podcasts.
Yeah, that's what you do. Well, and what's funny, so I created the idea for the photographers group in Salt Lake over a year and a half ago. Now, I didn't start it, but I remember talking to the girl who did start it. about this in February of last year, and I'm part of that, and so all of us work together. So same thing, and now I'm starting to do that and collaborate with artist managers and festival owners, which is completely different, and venue owners and just all this stuff. Like I'm like, what the hell?
It's
Group
funny
chats
seeing
are really taking over.
steps. Yeah.
Yeah,
Steps.
yeah,
Yes,
it
they
does.
are.
You start out.
Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
If you go back and listen to one of my very first episodes and how terrible it is, I mean, it's still up there because I like to
They
go back
still
and
are.
I like
They
to
still
go
are
and
horrible.
listen to the difference. Yeah, they're so terrible. But to listen to the difference between there and where I'm at now,
yeah,
it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
No,
for
absolutely.
sure.
It's the same thing as music, 100%.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So what was the first like concert you did where you're like, okay, this is okay, I'm definitely going to continue to like, I enjoy this.
So my debut concert was May 24th. That was my debut professional concert.
And I had no idea.
That was my first time where I was able to present dubstep in front of a crowd that actually liked dubstep. Because the last time, previously, I mean, I would do like birthday parties, I would do bar mitzvahs, like stuff like that. Like nothing where I just had to be like an open format DJ where like take requests, just play some pop songs, and that was about it. I was even struggling playing house there, like because I wanted to play EDM, but of course I knew I had to be a good DJ and play what the people want. But yeah, you don't know how many times I got the urge to click on my dubstep playlist and start throwing down. Of course I did. But before then, I was a bedroom DJ. The only time I was throwing down was in my bedroom back in Vegas, and then I would throw down for maybe about 30 minutes before my sister would come barging in, yelling at me to stop playing the robot noises. So, but yeah, no, I mean, this first time was it was May 24th. It was the first ever time when I walked on that stage. That was the first time I was looking at CDJs. Let me tell you, I was overwhelmed. I was very nervous, but at the same time, I'm a very confident person. I knew, I believe in myself. I've watched plenty of YouTube videos. I can do this. If I keep telling myself I can do it, I will do it. Oh. And I went out there and I gave it the best I could. I thought I did okay, but
you did great. I was there.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I will tell you one thing. When I sent that email to V2 of my 30-minute mix, I did not expect anything. I didn't expect any response. 2 days later, I get a response from Ian. Would you be down to play at Sky, opening for Heritage? When I saw that text, I cried. I'm not even joking. I was on a bridge on the way back to class, and I literally cried. And I immediately I'm trying to think who I called. I called my dad. I'm like, hey, Dad, it's happening. and I'm like, start booking your tickets to Salt Lake for the 24th. He's like, Ritler, what's going on? I'm like, I'm playing at Sky Nightclub. And what's crazy before was when I first was like learning the EDM scene, my dad was like, what are the places? And Sky was one of the places I mentioned because it was the first place that because I was brand new to Utah. I didn't know like anything about B2, anything about the Great Saltaire, all these venues. Sky was the first one I saw all these artists playing at. I'm like, okay, so this is where I got to play. This is where I got to be. So I kept manifesting. I'm like, how sick would it be if my first ever show was at Sky? Next thing you know, I get that email and I look at the venue and it says Sky Nightclub. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So that was my professional debut, and I'm ready to go. Whenever people give me that message, I'm ready to throw down. But no, I'm excited. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, it'll be cool to look back at this podcast like years from now. I'll be like, you guys talk to me, and I've only got one professional show under my belt. But I got shit ton of songs in the vault. I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
let's go. Whoever's watching this, book me. Let's go.
And that's something that Jesse and I are, working on doing too, is being someone to help reach out for these artists that we have on too, and say, hey, I got somebody that's wanting to come through town. Just to be able to have that connection in your towns. But we've had these conversations, and it's something that we're definitely working on making happen. And it's a good feeling. And actually, I have one request. If I make a clip on here, of you talking about your group chat. You got to post it in the group chat and tell people to come on our show.
I will. I will 100% do that. I've already told them to come on the show, but that might help it out a little bit more. But no, I would totally do that. Absolutely.
Right.
But yeah, I can't thank that group chat enough. They've helped me out a lot, and I feel like I've given a platform for other smaller artists as well. And that's another big thing that Jesse and I have talked about is that even though I'm still a small artist, I still always want to be a person to give a platform for others, because I truly respect the artists that have done it for me, and I know how it feels as a smaller artist. So I always want to do the same thing, no matter how big of an artist I am. I feel like giving back to others, the best thing you can do. It gives you such a good feeling, gives you good karma, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're
just helping people that have the same mindset as you, man.
Absolutely. We all have the
I want to
same
grow.
dream,
Let's go.
Literally,
I mean,
all these.
It takes. The thing is, Juke, we have so many conversations with people. All the time, and it's like that's all we can promise is we'll have a conversation, but some cool things have really happened from this. Like Wednesday we have Dead on a Sunday coming through Utah, and like we booked that, dude. That was like, you and I, we booked that friends, show, man. Like that's so cool. And it's just because people, like it's something so small.
And these are all people, like I'll be swiping through TikTok or Instagram and I'll see their content and I'm like, okay, check them out, see how passionate they are about what they're doing. If they're, are they actually going in here and posting every day? Are they clearly into this music that they're doing? And I say, hey, you want to come on? And literally everybody that we're having on, like, it seems like they're all already there. And then after they come on the show, they just kind of take off. And I'm not saying it's because of us, but like we're catching our guests at like the right time.
Fingers crossed. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's done a music video with Awesome Ray Ray.
I did do that.
Nolan Taylor, like we had Nolan Taylor on just a couple months ago, and now he's blowing up.
Yeah, he just got signed to Atlantic Records, and he was on
huge.
He was mentioned on Joe Rogan's podcast just the other day.
Yeah,
I gotta switch my headphones out real quick.
Okay, switch out your headphones.
You guys are
good.
So
you did your one. Would you say, because the whole time that we've been talking, you've talked so casually about social media? Has this been what you've used all through the music career that you've had?
Yeah. So I actually the day I graduated from high school, I switched my URL or profile name to Ember Music because I was like, all right, here we go. We're going full force on this. As much as I love the personal account, it's time to go. And I've always been very big on social media. I love Instagram. Instagram's always been my favorite. And I don't know. I've really tried to I feel like you need to be active on social media to be successful in this industry. And I mean, let me rephrase that. You don't have to, but it gives you better odds. And especially now with TikTok, I feel like being active on that is crucial. Twitter, every platform you will see me active on, because I feel like it's a different body of people you're presenting yourself to. You're presenting yourself to a wider audience. And as much as Instagram's my main platform, I try to equal myself out when I'm posting a promo for a new song or remix. I'm posting on every platform.
Right.
And I don't know. I feel like I've always loved social media. It's just I love the idea of it, and I love how you can really. I've met so many people that I would never have met if social media was never a thing. I mean, there are DJs that are unbelievably big that I've talked to through DMs, or I've even gotten follow backs. And like I wouldn't have never thought in my wildest dreams that would be the case. But thanks to social media and being active and building yourself on there, you create these opportunities. Like, for example, like the bigger you get on social media, the more likely you are to get a response from another person on DM or a follow back. So I use that as motivation, as I feel like I've gotten some bigger contacts and connections through growing my following on social media. So I don't know. It's different with everybody. Some people aren't really on social media as much, and that's okay. If they make great music, eventually that will not be a problem for them. But
Right.
for me, I don't know. I feel like as starting out as an artist, I feel like it would be crucial to be big on social media because I like to think of it as this way. Every time you post on social media, you're fishing. So
Mhm.
you're throwing your line out and
Okay.
you never know when that big fish is going to bite.
Mhm.
So I feel like whether that's TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, it's all the same. You can post and that video could get 1 million views. You never know. And I
Right.
feel like the more often you post, the more baits you're casting out into the water. The next thing you know, a big fish might hit.
Right.
So that's my analogy on it.
I like that because I can relate to that just even with a few things that I've been dealing with lately. Like literally, in fact, the podcast I had earlier today with Nick, that happened because I interviewed Ren because I reached out to him because of Sarah Benio and the track that he did for Ophelia. I wouldn't even know who Sarah Benio was if it wasn't for Ember. And it just popped up on my Spotify, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I think I told both of you guys or whatever. I'm like, hey, this is cool. I reached out to him on Instagram. Ren came on. Well, I didn't know Ren's roommate was Hugh Manchin, and Hugh Manchin's manager was watching my story because he liked what I did with Ren on my other show. And that's all it was, is I posted something on my story about the INTJ personality. And he's like, I have the same one. By the way, I love what you do. I want to be on your show. And I'm like,
let's do it.
well, okay. Because I post the most ridiculous things, I would think, on social media. But honestly, I probably get 40 or 50 replies to my stories every day from different people.
That's got to be a great feeling.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I get about... I think I get like 600 to 800 views on my story every day as well from Facebook, and then about 100 to 200 on Instagram. So about 1,000 people are watching my story because Instagram and Facebook's connected. And I'm like, this is actually really cool. I didn't, and then if I do a TikTok, it's like 1,500 views usually.
Right.
But that is true. Like every time you post on social media, you're putting yourself out there. But what are you putting out there? See, for me, I just post like whatever is on my mind. I don't have any strategy at all. Like I'm not
If anybody wanted to get to know you, they could go to your page and just watch your story. You'll get the daily scoop of Rafiki every day.
So if somebody's like, how did you do this? I'll be like, go watch my stories, bro. I told you step by step everything I did every day, including the grape Laffy Taffy that I ate in Idaho yesterday at my grandma's house.
Everybody's got their thing, man. It's
of course
grape candy, bro. Grape candy.
And like when I do shows like this, I'm like, I got 60 minutes that I can make 60 different variations of 1 minute clips and just post on social media.
Hello, mate.
That's all you got.
Yeah, let's give you best accent right now. What you got?
I couldn't do
Dude,
an accent.
I got a mean Conor McGregor accent.
Accent wars. Let's go.
Who the fuck is that guy? Someone give me proper 12. Let's go.
I'm not ready for this Irish bloke. I can't handle this. Where's the damn Peaky Blinders when I need them?
I'm ginger. I have to have an Irish accent.
Oh, man.
It's all right. I get it, mate.
It's funny because I'm not Irish. I'm Welsh. And if you know the history of the two, they actually don't really get along.
No, they don't.
I'm Welsh and born on St. Patrick's Day, bro. Explain that.
Oh man. Anyways.
Me and my ginger boys.
We jump it. Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of ginger friends now. Since you've met a bunch of gingers.
You, Peyton, Sarah. I prefer redheads. It's fine. I did have a redhead girlfriend, and she didn't break my heart, and I still love her. I love you, Bailey. You can come back into my life at any time. That'd be great. Just as a friend.
I do like how you mentioned that you related your name to your hair color, because as a podcast host, a jukebox ginger doesn't make sense, but it works for me, and it just I listen to so much different music. I used to listen to the old school jukebox at this local bar I went to all the time when I was younger, and I was like, this fits, and it just now I'm JG. I got JG's Lounge. I've got like 6 different podcasts on my channel and growing. I've got a improv game show I do with comedians from all over the U.S. And now we do a tour to you virtual concerts with artists from all kinds of genres. It's great, man.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
like, I feel like having a name that has a story is always good. I mean, I've known so many DJs and so many artists that just their name it's got a long story. Some like mine's pretty simple, but there are artists out there that have a backstory, and then there are also artists that literally just made up the word millennium.
Yeah.
Millennium. I remember looking at his story, and I watched that because I remember when I was in the process of like figuring out my name, I was looking at all these like artists and like listening and what their stories were about their behind their names. I was like, I have to listen to Millenniums, right? Like, there's got to be a story about that. He's like, I don't know. I just thought of it. That was literally like what he said.
I have
It's crazy,
probably
but
the
yeah.
Will Smith song was probably his favorite from the Millennium album. That's probably what it was.
Maybe.
It is. So you don't need a portfolio anymore with social media though, because it is your portfolio. I mean,
It's your whole personality. It's your
Seriously.
metaverse, man. You can be whoever the hell you want on the internet.
Yep.
Nobody knows anything.
Absolutely, pretty much.
you just swipe through somebody, you click on them. If you reach out or you check them on all their socials, usually it's the same name. But seriously, you have your whole portfolio that you need for whatever business you want to do. Social media. That's all you need.
Social media. That's it. That's the power of social media. It's awesome.
It's a love-hate relationship for me, man. Because before this, I didn't give a shit about social media. Now
cool.
it's
That's
the
fair.
best way to grow. Yeah.
I would be
I definitely
Falcor.
agree with that.
You would be Falcor?
That would
be
be my
your
name.
musician name? Musician
Yeah.
name?
Yes.
That's funny.
Do you know why? You get it,
No.
right? You don't what?
Like Valcor from like a movie?
No, yeah, Falcor from the movie. The Never-Ending Story.
The Never-Ending Story. Yeah, the
yeah,
big old dog.
the big white
dog.
flying dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dragon dog. I'd be
Ember,
Falcor.
do you know what we're talking about?
Not a clue.
The Never-Ending
Still not
Story.
fun.
I'm guessing you're what, 22?
Yeah, let's go with that.
How old are you? How
Me?
old are you? Yeah, you.
I'm 19.
You're 19.
Incredible.
Everybody,
So you're
thinks
born in
I
like
look older.
2004, right?
2003. 2003. close.
Oh my gosh. Oh wait, now my brain hurts. That doesn't compute.
Never
I look
heard of
older.
the Never-Ending Story.
Everybody, yeah, I don't know.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's
I'm gonna
all
make
good.
you watch it.
It's a good movie. It's like a cult classic.
It is. It came out in 1984.
Damn. God,
Right before
we're-
my
We're old,
birthday.
man. We're getting old.
Right, I don't want to talk about it.
It's all good. So for your music, especially being that there's no like, there are vocals and stuff, but I know like the way you twist up the sounds and everything. How do you lay your beats and like come up with these beats?
So one of the things I actually heard this quote yesterday by this artist named Jessie Murph. I've been loving her stuff lately. I've been telling Jessie all about her.
Yeah.
And I actually just finished a remix of one of her songs yesterday. It's coming out this Friday. No, little promo there. But
Nice.
so she said, why what was it? Why can I not remember it? I'm on the spot now. Wait, hold on.
right.
I'm on
Yeah,
my-
you're sitting here trying to give a promo, and you can't
You're
even.
doing lyrics?
Yeah, I know.
Just kidding.
I know. What am I doing?
Okay, I got
it
you.
was,
He's looking it up.
it was
Heartbroken Jessie Murph.
No, it wasn't in that song. It wasn't in that song. It was a quote she did on a podcast.
Oh, no
It
joke.
was why fit in when you could be unique. It's a very plain quote, but I actually relate a lot to that, especially in my music, because I want every song to be sounding different. The thing in my industry or in my genre of music, especially in dubstep, there's a lot of guys that sound the same out right now. And
they do.
in order to stand out, you have to make something that no one's heard before, or something that sounds break rules. Keizo does it. That's my idol, one of my idols, and he learned that from one of the members of Swedish House Mafia, and he told him to break rules. And I'm now understanding that as I'm getting better at my music production, I'm understanding, okay, there really is, you don't have to follow a certain guideline. So some people might not like the music because of it, but eventually you will break out and you'll stand out, because if you're trying to sound like one artist, you're eventually you're gonna get so good to the point where people will think you're that artist. You don't want to be that artist. I want to be Ember, and I really feel like I want my sound to be unique. So I want people to go to my page and be like, wait, so he's a dubstep artist? Actually, he makes dubstep, but he's not a dubstep artist. He makes all these stuff. I don't want to be put in a box. And with that, I go into every song with that mindset that I want to be unique. So there's times where I'll be stressful and I'll catch myself. I'll be like, wait, I want this to sound like this song. No, I don't actually. No, because then it's going to sound like that song. I want it to be unique. Those are the songs that stand out. And so, yeah, with that, I've been, I'll try different techniques. Sometimes I will go to YouTube videos to be like, all right, how did I make this sound? But I'll use it in a different way. And so, for example, like on my discography, you will hear hardstyle, you will hear dubstep, you will hear future bass, you will hear progressive house, and I got more on the way. That's different genres. I got some techno. I got everything. I want to make everything. I want people to come to my page expecting something brand new. And with that, I completely agree.
That's good.
Why would you want to fit in when you could be unique? I really do like that quote because it really relates to me. So that's kind of the answer to that question. But yeah,
that's good. I mean, finding something that means something to you and then using that to drive you is, I mean, it's a great feeling, and it helps with what you do, man. I did throw this up there. I mean, your numbers are climbing, man.
Yeah, no,
they really are.
My song Siren Song is it hit a big playlist recently, and since then it's been getting some nice streams. It's almost a little over doubled in streams since about 2 weeks. So, and it's helped my monthly listening. So I'm excited, but I'm excited for the future because the unreleased stuff that I got it's gonna explode. I really think those numbers are gonna explode because not only am I collabing with very talented artists, but it's just a completely new sound. No one's ever heard it before. And
absolutely,
I'm hoping for it to get on some labels. We're submitting as we speak, but that number, hopefully, after I watch this in the future, will be a lot higher soon.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
And not just followers though. Like even your Instagram has climbed quite a bit since we.
Yeah, it has.
Excuse me, since we started talking back in January.
Yeah. No, I'd say So, fun fact about my Instagram: when I first got to the University of Utah, first day of freshman, I had about 800 followers. So, I would say it's been basically a year ago, and now I'm at about 6,400. So, I've definitely had a little bit of a growth there, and of course, that's all natural. By the way, I'm not buying any followers and doing any of that crap. That's all.
I don't do
organic growth. Because I feel like I don't know why people do that. Yes, it might make you look a little bit better to the promoters, but you're not getting that organic growth. You're not getting that good fan base.
And you want like legit followers. You don't just want a number on a page that's not going to actually benefit you at all, really.
And think about it. Building an organic following, especially in these early stages, these are where your OG and loyal fans, like really loyal fans, are going to come from. I've heard this really good saying that I would rather have 1,000 loyal diehard followers and fans than 100,000 somewhat fans, because those 1,000 loyal diehard fans are going to do a lot more for you than those 100,000 would, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Yes. Well, and the way I met Brofiki, go ahead and talk about how social media has been for you, because that's how I met you.
Yeah. Okay. I was doing TikTok, living out of my car, traveling on purpose. And I'm like, screw the system. I'm going to make money doing TikTok. And I did TikTok live 3 times a day for an hour each. And I actually made pretty good damn money, like damn good money last year. Just in 2 months of doing TikTok live. My goal was to get to 1,000 followers so I could go live. And as soon as I started doing it, Jukebox would come in on his lunch every day.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, let's I like your stuff and your energy. And you're more like, you're kind of weird. Why don't we talk about it?
Yeah,
And
well,
so
yeah, on my Stardom podcast.
Yeah. So he throws me in on this. He's like, I'm not going to tell you what the subject is, but it's going to be something funny. And I'm like, oh God. And he's like, he's making fun of Zodiacs and shit because I love this stuff so much.
Yeah.
And it was the most fun I ever had.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, I kind of wanted to do this thing with music. And I'm like, oh, I work in music. I know a lot of musicians. And that's how it started. Because I was doing TikTok and just speaking on the most random, bizarre shit that he doesn't even like.
Yeah,
like, I just think you're funny.
Hey, at least I'm a blunt person, man. Like, it hasn't affected our friendship. I'm just not. Yeah, you can tell me. Just I don't have any.
You're like, that's cool. I don't care. And I'm like, I love you so much, and you're like, yeah, I gotta go bye. But what's also cool about all this, like, we like a tour to you came. We had this idea, and then it was a podcast we had with Awesome Ray, and I'm like, Juke, I know what we're going to do, and I'm like, we're gonna partner with a nonprofit for this. And so we've just been bouncing back and forth, and we're like, yep, this is what we're doing, and you're like, yep, this is what we're doing, you know. And we've failed at a lot of things too. There's been a lot of times where like things didn't go through. I slept through stuff, or like there's no internet because of the snow. We've had to reschedule a lot of stuff. We went 2 months dead air with nothing, you know, and here we are like pumping out 5-6 shows a week now, man. It's amazing.
Well, and so I took almost 2 months off.
You did?
And then, you know, because I was investing way too much time, but I knew that this is something I'm passionate about, what we're doing right now. And I was like, I want to keep doing it, but how can I improve without actually having to dedicate the time? So I'm like, I'm going to turn my podcast channel into a network of podcasts, because I have a network of people and I could just find people that want to do podcasts.
There you go.
And now I've got 6 in the last like 3 weeks. I mean, it's been great, man. And it's a good feeling. It's kind of like what you're doing with your group chat. You know, it's just like,
absolutely,
you're finding ways to just expand. What were you saying, Jesse?
Oh, I was going to say also, so like I asked Ember for his autograph before he gets big, and he did it, and he hates it. He hates it. I
was going to say,
I need another autograph.
I was going to say, do you have one that you like?
The autograph I did, it's a lot better, like on like with the actual pen. The thing he was, it was a giant ass Sharpie. Like, I don't know. I was a little pressure. I was signing the card. There's no like take.
He was excited.
I was a little excited, but yeah, no, that autograph actually works most of the time. I just kind of screwed up a little bit, but I'm not worried. I'll do it again.
I was gonna say, you know how like when somebody signs something wrong, they have you initial next to it, the correct ones. Just go back and do whenever you got one that you like, just go back and do it again.
Yeah, just right over
to verify that was you that fucked
I will.
I'm fine with that, bro. Well, Juke, you got to keep in mind, when I come to see you in a week and a half, you're going to autograph my car too.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll see the atrocity of an autograph that's on mine.
How cool is it, though? I mean, that's like the most unique thing. If anyone ever asked me anything about
me
being unique,
in a couple of years.
Yeah,
it's gonna be worth some money later. People are gonna be like, "I'm gonna buy your tailgate." Like, get the fuck off my car! Get off my car!
No,
but seriously, that was the one word growing up that I could not read and say right. It was antique and unique. Were the 2 words that I could not read. I would say antique or unique. And my dad would be like, "What? What are you saying?" I'm like, unique or like antique. And that was the one word that I struggled with the most. And it's ironic because that's what I force myself to be now.
The dreads are awesome, by the way. You just got to put back in.
Yeah, I had to put my crown back on. Taking the throne.
So, Ember, man, what do you have? I know you got a song coming out Friday.
Yes. So Yeah, I'm really excited about it. So that's a remix.
Mhm.
It's going to be at a remix on SoundCloud and YouTube. It's a remix of Diplo, Jesse Murph, and Polo G. They made a song called Heartbroken. I came across it a couple days ago on TikTok, on Diplo's TikTok, and I listened to it and I was obsessed. And then I looked at the singer, I looked at Jesse Murph, and then I became obsessed with her stuff too. She's got an amazing voice, and it was so unique to me, and it really popped. And then when I looked at Heartbroken, I instantly knew, I'm like, I got to work on this. I got to make something out of this. It's just amazing. And so that's going to be a little bit of a melodic track. I made it's kind of a country track, but I switched the genres. I wanted to turn it into a melodic track, and
Okay.
I really used a lot of organic and beautiful sounds in this song. You'll hear it in the intro, but yeah, I'm really excited about this. If I've already gotten attention on Jesse Murph's fan pages, a lot of her fan pages have already started reposting this, so
Yeah.
they're excited. I'm excited, and expect a lot more TikTok content on this because I'm gonna try everything I can to get Diplo, Jesse Murph, or Poji, any of them to notice because I'm gonna try everything in my power to make this an official remix. It's
Hell yeah.
very difficult. I know it's gonna be difficult, but it's always gonna be difficult until you try.
You got to
And
challenge yourself,
so
man. You have to challenge yourself.
I'm gonna try everything I can to get this song out there, whether it gets a lot of streams on SoundCloud or it gets official. But it's a really really special song. It hits me and other emotions, and I made it so it hits me even harder because it's now a melodic sad boy song and it's into my style. So I'm
Mhm.
really excited for this one. I'm really excited for people to hear it. And besides that, I got a lot more coming soon. I have two EPs coming soon. One, a headliner EP from myself, and another collab EP of Freaky. I have a really good song with my dear friend Sarah Benyo. We performed it at Moonrise. She's been amazing. I love her so much. She's been a great friend and also a collaborator. So I'm really excited for that one to come out. Probably have a music video for that one out here soon. Expect that to be coming out around October. But I'm really excited to work with her. She might be coming down to Utah a little bit as well and Vegas to work on the music video. But that's one of my most favorite songs. It was one of my first ever professional songs. Like I would consider professional with a professional vocalist, her lovely vocals. But yeah, and then plenty more other unreleased songs, other collabs. But yeah, that's kind of what's all in the future. Hopefully, some shows on the horizon as well.
Right.
We're looking at a couple here in Salt Lake, and then hopefully some outside of Salt Lake as well. But yeah, we got big things on the horizon, and I hope it all comes here soon.
Me too, man. It seems like you got your parents' support too, so that's awesome.
Absolutely, they're 100% full supportive. They full support. They are ready to do whatever it takes to help me grow as a DJ, and they will be at every show they can be at, and they'll bring their friends to every show they can be at. I got a whole posse in Las Vegas ready to come to any show, and I couldn't be more thankful for their support. But yeah.
I feel like there's some opportunity in Vegas too. I mean, there's plenty of venues there.
Absolutely, there is. It's a little bit more difficult in Vegas because everything's 21 plus, and they're very strict
Oh
on that.
yeah, I didn't think about that.
I don't quite. Every place has their different rules based on if they allow the talent to be under 21. Some places allow it, some places don't. Vegas is a little more strict on that, but we'll see what happens. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But once I am 21, it's go time there.
Well, Jesse, you got me in touch with him. What was it that interested you in Ember?
His drive, to be honest. He reached out to me because I posted something about Jessica Oddfred on my story, and I believe he saw the Undiscover or something. And he reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, check out this. This is what I want to do." And I'm like, "Cool." And we talked a little bit, and then you know me, synchronicities, ginger, redheads, music. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Say no? He's like a damn red kryptonite for me. And I'm like, I gotta okay. I walk into Sky. Wasn't even supposed to go because I was on a 2-month hiatus. Remember? Because I didn't go to shows from for in Utah. I didn't go to shows since before my birthday because I went to Denver for Trivecta. I didn't go to any shows in April. First show I go to was the one that he played at. I didn't know he was playing. I didn't even know who was playing. I was just like, it's Wednesday or Thursday. I'm gonna go out. I show up and he's playing. I look up and I'm like, I know this kid. Then I didn't even really listen to much. I go outside and then he came out after the show. And I was like, hey, I remember you. That was great. You know, what's going on? And I just went into full coaching mode. And I'm like, hey, listen, like, don't let people take advantage of you. You can do this by yourself. And I didn't know a whole lot about him, but I was just like spitting free game. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, like, you don't have to pay for these things. You can do this if you need any help at all or like need direction. And I was just being me, you know, I wasn't trying to ask for anything. I wasn't trying to promote myself. And I think he really respected that. And he was the first person that really saw me for me. And so, you know, then I brought him on my podcast and then I started working with him and now, you know, we're working on this project together. And I'm like, I mean, I've got talks of getting him a passport, sending him to Montreal in 6 months and Miami and Denver. Cause my buddy, my left hand is moving out to Denver in 45 days to do what I'm doing here in Denver. And then I got people in Vegas and I talked to a guy earlier from Cali. So everything that he's doing and literally his music, like we went to the Ludacris concert. Is that right? I took you to that. And we go back to my car. He signs it, you know, we get in the car at night because we're going to go to a different place. And he's like, let me play some stuff for you. And Ty has this video of my first reaction. And I'm just like, dude, like I could feel it. I could feel his just everything. And I'm like, man, this is the type of shit that I love. It doesn't matter what kind of music, right? Because we listen to Nolan Taylor. We listen to Dead on a Sunday. We listen to Trap. We listen to Awesome Ray Nev. Like it doesn't matter, man. It's like if I can feel your emotions in this music that you're giving your all and you're like, fuck it, this is what I got to do. Like that's the shit I get behind. This kid, he is going places. And yes, I'm going to be by his side when he goes to the top. We're going to be in the cars. But that's the whole thing. You find somebody that's just, they love something. They're so passionate. They believe in themselves. They're willing to go up to a damn whole new system that they don't even know and just make it work. Those are the types of people that I'm like, yes, because I remember showing up to the used in Coheed and Cambria with my camera bag. I was not on that list. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be here doing photos. And they're like, we don't have you on the list. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be here doing photos. And the security guard's like, oh, he's good. Just let me in. And I did photos. And that's how I met Alex Lucero. And he's one of my best friends to this day. You know, because I'm just like, I'm supposed to be here and I'm going to do that. And that's how Ember is. And that's how you are. And like, we need fuck yes people in our life.
Yep.
That's it.
It's true.
We do the best that we can every damn day.
We keep in touch with everybody that we have on.
We really
I'm
do.
always saying, hey, how you doing, man? Or hey, congrats. I see your a bump in your numbers. Good job. Or you release something and it's like, hey, dude, haven't heard from you in a while, but dude, I'm glad you're still going. And that's the kind of that's the kind of networking I like. You know,
yeah, man.
Of course.
People that are still wanting to be involved,
celebrating each other's wins, man. Like even today, like I saw, like I haven't really talked to Hugh Manchin, but he made a post about like his amazing summer and him doing all these after parties for really big names. And I had no idea how big this guy was. I really didn't. Or like me reposting a song of Hades and then finding out like I'm supposed to be helping with a show with certain things later on. I'm like, all I'm doing is going and reposting. Like people are like, hey, this is like, congrats, bro. Congrats. And then it sparks things. All you have to do is promote each other. Love each other a little bit, share a little love. It's not going to dim your light a little bit to spread some love, share some love with some people. And that's all it takes. Like, hey man, I see you. I'm not doing you and you're not doing me, but like, I dig what you're doing and you keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. We do our thing together. Maybe one day we'll share a stage together. Who knows? What's up?
100%.
Right? Hell yeah, man. And you know, Ember, I definitely see like just said, I can see you getting big real quick. It seems like you've got what you're wanting and you're finding your way into those crowds of people. And that's awesome. So I'm you know, somebody who's just met you, I'm proud of you, man. I mean, not to sound like a dad or anything, but I'm proud of you in the direction you're going, dude. So just keep
People are
hustling.
so
man.
old, man.
Yeah, we
No,
are.
thank
old.
you so much. I mean, like, I really like the thing with us. I mean, in the music industry, sometimes we don't get told that stuff enough, and when we do, it really helps. And like, even like, when I get like comments like from someone that's like, "Oh my god, this is so sick," I don't even think they realize how much it actually helps me and makes me feel good when they were typing that comment. But when we see that stuff, oh man, it warms our heart. I mean, and that's why we do it. We're trying to make other people happy, and so getting told that stuff, it really does help in other ways that people don't understand. But
Right.
because I mean, we're in the entertainment industry, we're supposed to entertain people, and sometimes we need to hear that we are entertaining people and we're doing our job. And so, yeah, I don't know. I definitely appreciate when people say stuff like that.
Good, man. Jess, you got any last minute
Man,
comments?
I just gotta say, like, I'm so excited for this chapter for you, and I'm so glad that you're getting this time right now in your life. You know, I just look back at like my 19-year-old self and like what I was like getting ready to do, and like I just didn't do it. I was afraid, I was scared, and it's so encouraging to see you chase your dreams. Like, you have to know that for us being in our 30s, like, well, mid 30s, we're 35. Yeah, I'm 9 months older than you.
Yeah.
So yeah, us both being 35, like looking back, like 19 at 2000, 6, 2005 area, like, is way different than being 19 now. And I'm just so glad that like you're out here because you get to help pave the way for the next generation. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And if there's anything we can do to help you, just reach out. We're here to support
100%.
you and on your journey. And, maybe like every once a year we bring you back, be like, hey, where you at? What are we doing?
Fine by me.
Or even like, hey man, we just had this guy on. I think you could collaborate with him. What do you think?
Yeah.
Stuff like
course.
that.
However
Absolutely.
we can help you, let us know. We
Yeah,
appreciate you for coming on. Thank you so much for your time. We
Yeah,
appreciate your music, and we're excited for you.
Yeah, man.
No, thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me. Opportunities like this are always amazing, so I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, of course, dude. And to everybody that tuned in, Ty, thank you for jumping on with a little comment there. And to anybody that's going to listen to this later on, all of his socials will be in the description of the show. And until next time, guys, we'll see you around.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.